December 21st, 2015, 3 days before Christmas. A bank security camera captures a photograph of Carla Schauer Freiberg standing at an ATM. Her expression is not frustration over a banking error. Look at her face. That is a woman who knows something is wrong. What the camera does not show is what waits for her back home. Within hours, Carla and 3 others would be found dead inside her house in Ruperswil, Switzerland. Their home would become a burning tomb. This photograph became the key piece of evidence released to the public. Ruperswil is a small municipality in the canton of Aargau, roughly in the center of Switzerland. The Scherbiel neighborhood where Carla lived was considered especially calm. Young families, children playing outside, very little crime to speak of. Carla was 48 years old, a mother devoted to her 2 sons. Dion was 19. Davin had just turned 13. Carla's partner, Georg, lived with the family. Neighbors described them as genuinely happy together, an ordinary family living an ordinary life in one of the safest countries on earth. Simona was 21 years old and had been dating Dion. On the evening of December 20th, she made a spontaneous decision to stay over. It was an innocent choice, and it would cost her her life. The man who came to the door the next morning had no way of knowing she would be there. Investigators would later note that her presence was entirely unplanned. She became, in the clinical language of the case file, an accidental victim. One wrong night to fall asleep in that house. At 7:30 a.m. on December 21st, Georg left for work. From less than 500 meters away, a 33-year-old man watched him leave. This man had been watching the family for months. He knew their schedule. He knew when the house was full. He had prepared a fake letter identifying himself as a school psychologist. He had printed fake business cards. At 8:30 a.m., he walked up to Carla's front door and rang the bell. She opened it without suspicion. Once inside, the intruder pulled a knife from his backpack. Using the knife as a threat against 13-year-old Davin, he forced Carla to bind and gag everyone else in the house, Dion, Simona, and eventually Davin himself. The house became a prison. He told Carla to go to the bank, withdraw cash, and return. Tell no one. He claimed he only wanted money. He promised everyone would be fine. Carla believed him. What mother would not? At 9:50 a.m., a surveillance camera captured Carla at an ATM. A technical glitch meant the machine only dispensed euros, not Swiss francs. She took what it gave her. At 10:10 a.m., she walked into her bank and requested the specific denomination he had demanded. Bank staff said she seemed visibly on edge, tense, not quite present. She withdrew just over 1,000 euros and drove back home. She handed over the money. She had just run out of time. The money was never the point. The withdrawal was simply a mechanism to keep Carla cooperative and buy the intruder uninterrupted time inside the house. Around 11 a.m., Carla's parents drove in for the holidays. They saw smoke above their daughter's house. Firefighters arrived quickly. Inside, they found 4 bodies: Carla, Dion, Davin, and Simona. The fire had been set deliberately using a commercial fire starter poured across the bodies. The killer had washed himself in their bathroom and walked home. Investigators pulled cell tower data from the area. One phone number had registered near Carla's street every single morning for weeks. On December 21st, the day of the murders, that phone went completely silent. The owner had switched it off. That gap in the data became the breakthrough. The number belonged to a 33-year-old man who lived 500 meters away. Police set up a sobriety checkpoint, collected his DNA from a breathalyzer mouthpiece, and matched it to the crime scene. The man was Thomas N. He had no criminal record. He lived with his mother. He coached a junior football team and owned 2 huskies he walked every day. After the murders, he met friends at a restaurant, went to a casino with Carla's money, and posted Christmas photos of his dogs on Facebook. When police searched his home, they found a backpack already packed with cable ties and a list of new targets. He intended to do this again. Psychiatric experts found Thomas N. fully competent at the time of the crimes. No psychosis, no reduced legal responsibility.
The court sentenced him to life imprisonment with indefinite incapacitation. Carla's partner, Georg, published a book titled Forever. Carla was 48. Dion was 19. Davin was 13. Simona was 21. These 4 people are the center of this story, not the man who took their lives. Their names are what remain.